Thank you for tuning in to the Electric Church Podcast. My name is Craig. I am the founder of the Electric Church Podcast. And joining me today, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Cliff.
Get that mic right up next to you there.
Yeah, I've been playing guitar for a long time. I just like to play music, do my thing, skateboard, ride bike and stuff. Recently gotten into mountain biking last few years and that kind of thing.
Stay right up close to that mic, brother. All right, so let's just chat a little bit about your band that you got going right now. Do a little self-promotion for them.
Yeah, right now I'm playing in the Crow Wings. I saw them a couple years ago. They're playing downtown. They're pretty good, and I've been playing guitar for quite a while, and I kind of figured, everybody and their brother plays guitar, so I should try something else, and I know I can play drums decent. So I just put a thing out saying, hey, everybody, I've been playing guitar forever, so if you need a drummer, let me know. And right away, Jessica hit me up on the Crow Wings, and started playing drums with those guys, and been doing that ever since.
And when did you join the band, the Crow Wings?
Last year, I think it was actually 2018.
Okay.
In October of 18.
Okay. So
it's been about a year and a half now.
Nice. And what kind of music you guys play?
Oh man, that's hard to explain. I'd say more of like a Beatles-esque style.
Okay. Sort of throwback?
Yeah, throwback pop rock kind of thing. A little bit of reggae style in there here and there, and we all have our own influences and just kind of jam out.
Sure. So it's just kind of you all kind of bring different influences and kind of mash your own thing together?
Yep.
Right. So what are some of your major influences in music? Who did you grow up listening to?
Geez, I grew up listening to everything. I know that's cliche, but man, I listened to everything that my mom listened to when I was a kid. She listened to all that country stuff, and then I started getting into Def Leppard and Poison and all that stuff when I was 10. And then just kind of grew from there. I didn't like the TV.
Yeah.
I watched cartoons here and there, but kind of grew out of that right away and didn't care about anything but music after a while, and moved out on my own and kind of got shit from my grandparents because I didn't even have a TV. All I had was a stereo. You don't even watch TV? Nah.
So do you have some specific memories of some band that you remember discovering of your mom's country or something?
Nothing of that. That was, she listened to a lot of a lot of everything, a lot of mostly pop stuff, the radio stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Specifically the stuff that really influenced me it was really Def Leppard. I turned on the TV one time. I was sick. I was in second grade, and I had to stay home. We didn't have Cartoon Network. That wasn't a thing then, So if you're home in the middle of the day, the only thing that was on was talk shows and soap operas, and so I got sick and stayed home, and I turned on MTV and then watched some music videos, and I saw Pour Some Sugar on Me. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing, and Poison and all that, Bon Jovi and shit.
Yeah, I remember when I was probably about 11, 12 years old, going to my, even younger than that, going to spend the night at my cousin Bethany's, and she had not only a Super Nintendo, but they had cable, and there was the Headbangers Ball. Oh man, I lost so much sleep watching Headbangers Ball.
Yep.
And Liquid Television.
Yep.
Oh
yeah, I loved Liquid Television.
Yeah. Back when MTV was awesome, right?
Yeah, kinda. I would sit there and watch videos, but then I would be like, okay, this video sucks, maybe the next one's gonna be cool.
Right? Yeah.
And then I'll sit there, and then they'd start playing some Warrant or some shit. Like, yeah, no. Next.
Mute button. Yep. Oh, yeah, man, that cherry pie video. Oh, man. That is riff worthy. That's pretty bad.
That lead singer killed himself because of that shit.
Really?
Yep.
What, just from, like, people making fun of him online?
Yeah, well, no, it was, Warrant was a serious band.
Yeah.
You know, they did serious stuff. And then right when they were putting out that Cherry Pie album, they had to have one more song or some shit.
Stay closer to that mic, man.
They had to have one more song, right?
Yeah.
And then they put out, they're like, oh, all right, well, he wrote Cherry Pie real quick. We'll just put this out. And then after it came out, then all of a sudden that was the single. That was the name of the album.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're known for Cherry Pie. And Cherry Pie is cheesy as hell. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, we're a serious band. We do way better shit than that, you know? And
yeah, I mean, their first album, it was all a rage against capitalism.
Yep.
Dirty, rotten, stinky, filth, and rich.
I just remember seeing the interview with him and him saying something along the lines of...
well, they should have just refused to do the video or something.
Yeah, I know.
They must have just signed away too much control.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it seems to come down to.
Yeah. That's crazy.
He's like, next thing you know, the album's named fucking Cherry Pie. The only video on MTV is Cherry Pie. I'm the fucking Cherry Pie guy. That's all we're known for is Cherry Pie.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, Janie Lane from Warrant killed himself.
Damn. But yeah, I mean, the video, the song itself seemed to be making fun of how tongue-in-cheek it was. It was making fun of itself.
Yep.
Which it seems like it was just an inside joke to the band. Like nobody else got it.
Yeah. That was kind of the way it was with Beastie Boys with "Fight for Your Right to Party" too.
Oh yeah.
Because they were just making fun of frat boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we fight for your right to party. You know that. Wake up late for school, you don't want to go. Teacher treats you like he's some kind of jerk and all this shit. You know, they're basically making fun of frat boys.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
then they're like, we start doing these concerts, and who's showing up at our concerts?
Frat boys. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh wow.
And same with kind of Blink 182 with.
What's my age again?
No, all the small things.
Oh.
They're kind of making fun of boy bands.
Okay.
What they turn into.
A boy band. Yeah. Band. Oh, be careful, artists, I guess, huh?
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah. All right, so skateboarding, mountain biking.
Oh, yeah. Well, the skateboarding thing, I skated from the time I was 10 until into my early 20s, and I got pretty good at it and all that kind of stuff, but then my kids were born and it wasn't so easy to do, so yeah, 1 week of not skating turned into two turned into three, and then I would hop on my skateboard and be totally not wanting to do it anymore because I would be discouraged. Couldn't do half the shit anymore. But I started riding around on my bike, of course, and I was in Crosby and had a mountain bike at the time, and I saw a trail going off. It was one of those mountain bike trails, and I was like, yeah, I might as well just take this. And once I hit that trail, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Now thousands of dollars later, I got a nice bike.
Yeah. When you find passions, that's cool. So those trails out there, tell me about them. Like, how are they phenomenal? I mean, everybody keeps talking about some of the best mountain biking in the nation. Yeah,
actually, when it comes to Minnesota, if you look up anything about Minnesota, about trail riding, that's one of the first things that comes up.
Yeah.
And it's actually people from all over the world come to check it out.
Yeah.
It's not just here, and we're pretty lucky to have it right here in our backyard.
For sure. No, those pits in general.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
and I started riding there, and I was looking on YouTube a while back when I started riding there, and I noticed there wasn't really too much around it. So lately, I've been riding up there, and I got myself a GoPro and a chest mount and all that shit, and I just been going riding, getting all the trails, and gonna put it up on YouTube, and just to kind of share. This is what this is like.
Yeah.
People come from all over the place, and they want to check it out and see what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
So, here it is, and I got these videos right now of fat biking in the snow so far.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a good way for me to put my music out too.
Yeah.
So, the videos are of the trail, and you just watch the video of what the trail looks like. But then my background music is just stuff that I wanted to do. Just
yeah,
stuff
you
that
just tooling around. Yeah, nice.
Good way to get it out there without, I don't know, trying to promote something that I'm not going to do live.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's cool, and it's cool to be able to like merge two of your hobbies.
Yeah, really.
And yeah, I mean, I think what you're really doing is you're making and soundtracking a documentary.
Yeah, basically. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty neat. For sure.
Outlet.
Yeah. Yeah, very fun. I mean, not unlike, you're asking me why I started doing this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, just an outlet. Yeah, just something to do. It's like, shit, I ended up with these 2 microphones and booms, and, I got the computers and the software. Like, geez, all I need is an interface. And, so here we are, looking for guests, looking for people to talk to. So when did you start mountain biking?
Well, I've been riding bike for a long time, most of my life, but specifically mountain biking, I started in 2016.
Okay.
And I had my old Gary Fisher, and it was a 2006 Gary Fisher, so it was, out of style,
yeah,
I guess you could say, by the time I got out there with it. But I rode that for the time, and then right away after, as soon as I could, I got myself a good upgraded, newer version of a mountain bike, and that's all I've been doing.
Yeah.
And, all winter, I couldn't really ride for a couple years all winter because I didn't have a fat bike.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just go to the YMCA and treadmill and lift weights and stuff just to make sure that when springtime came,
you weren't out of shape.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I tried to race even, right away when I first started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's so easy just to enter one, and they're happening all the time. So I was like, I might as well try. And didn't do all that great, but learning experience,
Yeah, for sure.
It was fun.
Do they have races out there at the trails, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know how it works. It's a American Mountain Bike Association thing or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they set it up, and since the trails out here are so good, then
yeah, it's a place for them to go for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, a few times a year.
Nice. I'll have to check that out. Maybe throw a link in the comments or something. All right. Well, what else you want to talk about, brother?
I don't know.
How's that beer?
Good.
Yeah. You mentioned going to the Y. You still a member? Well, it's wintertime, I suppose, huh?
No, actually, I haven't been a member for a little bit because once I started really playing drums a lot, I'm like, I fucking bust my ass on these drums.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm getting plenty of exercise.
Yeah, that is a workout in and of itself, for sure.
Not nearly as much as, running on a treadmill and none of that shit.
Yeah.
It's
activity.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, what other hobbies you got, brother?
Oh, man. Yeah, pretty much that. I like to play video games,
Okay.
once in a while when I'm bored. But that's kind of take my time kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, you run out of stuff to do, and TV is not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an attention span for movies and stuff. You know?
Sure. And you're a woodworker professionally?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you ever think of building your own guitar?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more involved than
For sure.
than the stuff that I normally do, but.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, well, we build, at least partially. I mean, and we're talking electric.
Yeah.
I wouldn't begrudge you for buying a neck, but my God, build a body,
Yeah.
buy the parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Really, what I'd like to do is just.
That'd be another cool thing that you would, document with just stills and put some music behind, and yeah.
Really, what I would like to do is just get a decent kit and just refinish it. That's mostly what I do is finish work.
Okay.
I mean, I can paint and stain wood and make it look nice.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those electric guitars, it's all about the CNC,
CNC?
Yeah. You just glue up a bunch of wood and then put it on a CNC and put a program in, and then the CNC cuts it for you.
Oh, okay.
So it's all shaped right, and all the holes are cut in the right places and stuff.
Okay.
And then you order a neck so you don't have to make it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Neck would be oh my God. Yeah. I can't imagine anybody making a deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what.
There's only a few schools in the U.S. that offer the kind of class that you would need to take to be able to do that trade. The guitar luthier, specifically.
I think one of them's in Red Wing, Minnesota, isn't it? Yeah.
And when I was in high school and I was looking to go to college, that's one of the options I had, because I always wanted to do something with music.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, realistically, what do you do with music? You're not going to be famous.
Yeah.
So figure, turn it into a trade and start working on guitars.
Yeah.
But, at the time that I was looking into doing all that, I wasn't into trying to get student loans and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Yeah. Didn't pan out.
Yeah. No, yeah, but maybe for the better.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I don't know how much demand there is for them, and
yeah. See, what most likely would happen if you really want to make money doing it would be to get good at doing it and then go work for another company that already does it.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of luthiers on Facebook and that trying to sell their own guitars that they make, and they probably make decent money. I mean, for all I know, but I see a lot of the same stuff come up. Where they're pushing their guitars, and then a month later they're pushing the same one still that they built, and and it's like, well, you might be able to sell a guitar for a couple grand or $1,500, but if you're only selling one here and a couple months later you might sell another, it's not a job.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a side gig at best. Yeah.
A really hard hobby that takes a lot of time and effort.
Yeah. Oh, and all the money and the tools too. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, there's definitely cheaper hobbies than music. So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Making instruments, I can't even fathom.
When I started playing drums, I found the money pit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. If you want to be, if you have a decent income and a kid and you want to be poor, get them into hockey and drumming.
Yep.
Yeah. those are money pits indeed.
Yep. Or biking. That's another one.
Well, any hobby can be really expensive if you want it to be, but yeah, I mean, there's just no cheap way to get into drumming or hockey. Yep. I mean, other than buckets is the cheap drum, and I don't think there's a cheap way to get into hockey.
Yeah.
Well, buy used equipment and hit the pond.
When I was a teenager, and if I wanted to do that kind of stuff, it was all about me getting a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get me a job, and I bought myself a snowboard, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My guitar and all that kind of stuff, and then I'd be like, well, I don't really need a job anymore, so.
got what I wanted. Yeah, life was so much easier before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But oh, the woes of becoming an adult. You need to keep that job beyond the fun things. Now you just hope to have the money to scrape together the fun things. But
Well, now I can make my own decisions,
right,
and I can do things when I want to, for the most part. So,
yeah, I mean, we all have responsibilities.
and I don't get grounded.
Sure.
I haven't been grounded in a long time.
Yeah, that's nice for sure. I can't remember the last time I was grounded either.
You don't get to ride your bike.
No.
No, what? Yeah, we didn't have the internet. I didn't have no way to sit in my room and be like, yeah, oh, well, so what?
Yeah, right. No kidding. Yeah. I mean, like, say, yeah, it was exciting to go to my cousin's house because she had a Super Nintendo, you know, because I had a hand-me-down original Nintendo from my cousins. And, oh, yeah, we all remember the scourge of the NES. Oh, man.
Yeah, and now
blowing in the cartridges and finding something to jam in it when the spring broke and it wouldn't stay down.
I wish I still had it. I'd play Duck Hunt.
Yeah, right.
That game was awesome.
Yeah, I mean now it's just evolved into the Big Buck Hunter. Yeah, they should just bring back the original Duck Hunt.
Yep.
That should be like an option on the Big Buck Hunter like game.
Yeah, no doubt. Why isn't it?
Yeah, it should.
Because it's probably not Nintendo.
Different gaming. I'm sure different gaming companies.
I play that Big Buck Hunter though. Anytime I go to the bar,
that's your game.
That's my game.
I like to play 9-ball pool, and nobody likes to play 9-ball, so I just play by myself.
Yeah, I suck at pool, so I don't really try. I have my moments. I'll go in, I'll be like, yeah, I suck, and then I'll clear the table, and everybody's like, what? I thought you sucked. Well, mostly I do, you know?
Right?
Once in a while, I do okay.
It was just an easy table. It wasn't easy break, not my fault. Yeah, as soon as I start doing good and I get some confidence in pool, then I start doing horrible. That I'll get like 2 or 3 shots in a row, and then like I won't make anything else the rest of the game. Like yeah, that's my classic pool faux pas. But well, what else you want to talk about, brother? Seen any good movies lately?
No. I don't know. I don't focus long enough for them. I kind of end up like walking away. And last night, actually, I had Child's Play on.
The original?
Yeah, Child's Play.
The new one.
Nope, Child's Play. Original Charles Lee Ray. You know.
Yeah.
He's well, that was on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. I'll just leave it on while I'm doing other stuff, you know. But
well, that's how I listen to podcasts. Is like, yeah, while I'm doing other things, while my hands are busy doing something, and I can, yeah,
that's what I do at work.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts. Yeah, man, like
you know,
music like just got tiring to me after listening to music for so many years in a kitchen. I was just tired of listening to music for 12 to 14 hours a day.
Yeah, especially if you listen to the Power Loon or something.
Oh, no, yeah, I mean, even, streaming, even, still. But, yeah, oh, yeah, man. Oh.
It's really easy to get caught into, like, listening to the same stuff. And
yeah.
I've made channels. I've made extra Pandora, like, channels.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, I like this song, and I like that one. And then all of a sudden it devolves right into the same stuff I was already listening to. Like,
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I've had the same exact issue. Sort of like I'm trying to get new music to listen to, and you're just like reverting back to what I already like.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely had that issue too. Yeah.
But I like to listen to a lot of. I like to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first realized that the music wasn't as fun as it was before, I started listening to. Like, psychology lectures and that kind of thing. And eventually, I started out listening to just psychology lectures, and then I'm like,
Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like Carl Jung, you know, and I was just like listening to that stuff, and all of a sudden, you know, I looked it up, and everything's Jordan Peterson for the Carl Jung.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and I listened to his stuff, and I really liked the way he broke it down. His just the way he talked about it made sense, you know.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because after that, then I'm like, well, okay, I'll check this guy out and listen to some of his stuff, what he's got going on. And I never realized, actually for a long time, that there was any kind of controversy revolving around this fucking guy.
Right.
He just like it seemed so straightforward, you know, like, okay, this is my idea of the, you know, the symbolism behind Carl Jung's ideas and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, people hate him.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and then I looked into why people were hating him. And I really listened to like what he had to say about stuff, and a lot of the stuff that people hate about him is stuff that, like, if you actually listen to more than just like a couple seconds of what he has to say, you'd realize that there's a reason why he's saying this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the compelled speech thing, you know, with the transgender issue.
Yeah.
You know,
so,
and it's like, you don't, just because you think, you know, we can't be told, I don't want to be told how to talk. We don't want these rules in government to tell us how to talk.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that I don't want to talk that way.
Yeah.
Just because I say that we shouldn't be told to say this doesn't mean that I don't want to.
Yeah. So for those people, listeners who don't know, Jordan Peterson is professor of psychology in Toronto, and he's wrote a couple books called one called Maps of Meaning and one called 12 Rules for Life. But he has like 2 years worth of his lectures on YouTube that he put those up there just for his own students' sake at the time. And so this controversy is there was this law passed in Canada where it would be a crime to not use someone's preferred pronouns. And Jordan Peterson, you know, just objected to the idea of the law being compelled speech, that you have to say this, you know, it's a government law that you have to call someone what they want to be called. And he said, well, he objects to the idea of the law, but he's saying, hey, if I have a transgender student, it's not that I'm not going to use their preferred pronoun, it's that I don't want a law that says I have to. And this somehow got morphed into he's transphobic. So that's sort of the controversy that he's talking about.
Yeah,
but I love Jordan Peterson. Yeah,
there's more than that with the controversy, because there's also like the fact that men or young men are kind of gravitating towards what he talks about, and that's kind of a funny thing in and of itself, because you know, I don't know. Just because there's a certain group that says, hey, I want to hear what this guy has to say, doesn't mean that
it's inherently negative.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. Yeah, I mean, there was this thing called the Lilith Fair, where it was all women, artists, and yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and do your thing. But yeah, I mean, there's something like 80% of the people that watch Jordan Peterson YouTube videos are men between the ages of 25 and 36 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's also like 75% of the people watching YouTube videos overall.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a weird one to point to. But yeah, I mean, he's talking about taking responsibility and becoming a better person.
Clean your room.
Clean your room, make your bed. I don't understand
Stand up straight.
Talk to somebody as if they might be something, or they might know something you don't.
Yeah.
You know, like, these are great rules. These are things that people should aspire to. He's trying to make people better, and just because.
Yeah, see, here's a funny thing.
I don't understand the controversy either. Here's
a funny thing, though. Like, if you watch YouTube and you let YouTube just suggest videos for you, just play them and play them, it kind of devolves into the most extreme version of whatever you start with.
For sure, yeah.
So if you watch a Jordan Peterson video and you just let YouTube do its own thing, next thing you know, you're watching these videos where they actually do hate women.
Sure.
And it's fucking weird. You know what I mean? I don't get it myself, but I remember, like, I was just letting this thing go, and then all of a sudden one of the videos is like, oh, God, something about watching out for a specific kind of woman or whatever, watch out for being shit-tested and all this fucking toxic bullshit, right?
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that is algorithm. It's because, I just started a channel for this, and so generally when I'm interacting with YouTube, it's this new information, right? As far as they're concerned, into this new account, and so I like people like Eric July and Dave Rubin, and I don't even know if I've liked Jordan Peterson's channel or subscribed to it. And then like it'll show, like in my suggested videos, it'll show up like Fox News. It's like I don't want to watch Fox News.
I get that because I started watching Ron Paul stuff.
Yeah.
And I like listening to Ron Paul. He's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
But I started getting all kinds of different weird stuff because of that. I don't really mind, to be honest. I like to really dig into all the different aspects, and see where everybody's coming from, because it just helps to understand things better.
Yeah, I agree.
But
for sure.
The way that it kind of goes into that, I've heard stories about how if you watched, like, say, a speech by Bernie Sanders, eventually, next thing you know, you're watching Antifa videos.
Sure.
And you know what I mean? It's,
okay.
Or if you're watching stuff like Trump, next thing you know, you're watching some hardcore, like, white supremacist stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously neither one of those groups has anything to do with the
other. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, those are the fringe elements.
Yep.
Yeah, of those. Yeah. More generalized groups, for sure. Yeah.
But I like to learn, so I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I've gotten shit for watching stuff that I totally don't agree with before, but you know what? If you don't try to understand where the person that you don't agree with is coming from, you're no.
Yeah, it's called steel manning. Yeah. Well, we're learning the other person's side of the argument.
See, the steel manning thing, though, is like, that's learning the argument so that when it comes up, then you have a counter argument.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to understand is why.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, why do you dislike this group? Why do you think this way?
Yeah.
And that's like...
Yeah, I kind of approach everything the same. Like, I approach politics very philosophically.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what you're describing. Yeah, we both have that, like, for Jordan Peterson, too.
Yeah, it's like you got to try to...
Like, I'm not interested in your like, general... Your like outcome of what you think this policy should be. I'm more interested in backtracking into how you got there.
Yeah.
What's the philosophy behind this policy?
No.
Why do you think this is a good idea? Yeah, because if you just sort of like throwing spaghetti at the wall, like, hey, let's try this. Hey, I don't think that's a good way to govern.
I saw this meme and it said this, and I totally agree with this.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I completely agree. So, yeah.
But I did start on that 12 rules for whatever.
Yeah, 12 rules for life.
And it was interesting.
It's hard to digest.
Yeah, it was interesting at first, but I got a lot of different things that I like to like to study, so
Yeah.
I went back and forth on that. I think his better stuff that I really like, as far as the Jordan Peterson stuff, is the psychology stuff and the way that he breaks it down.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he talked about he's a Christian dude.
Well, I don't
You know
even
what I
think
mean?
he's Christian, but he breaks down. He breaks down.
He is. He's Christian.
Is he?
Yeah, he's definitely a Christian.
Well, he likes to.
But
he likes to find.
he uses the symbolism.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like that's his whole like maps of meaning is all
Yep, it's all
about.
about
Is
that.
all about finding the lessons from
Yep.
Judeo-Christianity. Yeah.
Putting it.
But I don't think he's necessarily Christian himself. I think he.
Yeah,
I think he. Well, what I think his line is that he doesn't necessarily believe in God, but he lives his life as though God does exist.
Yeah.
That's that's the way he's described it.
That's a weird thing because like according to like Carl Jung, when it comes to that kind of stuff, like I can't remember exactly how it goes, but like even if you are an atheist, you still like believe in God, but I mean it's more of a moral issue. Mm-hmm. You know, you're like basically to say your morality comes from somewhere.
Sure.
And,
Yeah, the idea of inherent morality.
Yeah. Like in order to have that inherent morality, I've heard people try to argue that it's.
I think it's more subjective. I think that morals are cultural, and that's why. I mean, even in America, we have subcultures. But let's like you know, Papua New Guinea 100 years ago, people were cannibals. You know, they not only didn't they not have a problem taking human life, but eating it and eating humans.
Yeah.
And that is such a cultural thing. That is so like most cultures. That's a no-go. That's a last resort for survival in an emergency situation. And it was part of their culture that if you like ate certain parts of your enemy, you then take their power, you know? So I would argue that morals are completely cultural, you know? And that's how we end up with things like dog fighting being a bit more prevalent in the South, you know?
And I think that cultural thing really comes down to like each culture's what they think is normal and what's not.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
cultural
to us, something
norms
that's
change.
not normal can be very normal. Well, I mean, taking schizophrenia. Like if people here in the U.S., if they're schizophrenic, it's a disease. It's treated with medication. They're hospitalized or whatever they have to do.
I think it's classified as a mental illness.
Yeah,
but
it's a mental illness.
not a disease.
Yeah, well, you have to do what
disease.
you have to
I
do
think
with
is
it.
naturally degenerative and foreign in nature. Yeah.
But either way, it's not normal. It's a medical thing.
Yeah.
And there are other
bad wiring.
cultures where somebody who would be schizophrenic would be considered
their healer.
a healer.
Yep.
Like
Their witch doctor.
You're talking to God. God's talking to you. I can't believe this. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, I don't believe in an inherent morality either. That's one place where I think me and Jordan would part ways.
Yeah, that's a philosophical thing to think.
Yeah, I mean, think about the people on North Sentinel Island. They have no qualms about killing anybody that comes even close to their island. You know, and that is not. I don't think it's not immoral to them to kill outsiders.
No.
You know, they don't have that moral, right? Yeah. And good for them. Protect your island. That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't.
I ain't going.
No, yeah. You guys don't want Wi-Fi anyways. Like no, just
5G. You guys ain't gonna.
Yeah, but I mean, if the whole world destroys itself, that's probably who's gonna be left.
Yep. And the cockroaches.
The Sentinelese people. Hopefully, they'll eventually get off their island. Repopulate. But Well, should we take a little break? You want to get another beer?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we will be back in just a few minutes.